Hello learners, today we are here at Vihaan Overseas, myself Moksha Shah. Today we are going to look for writing task 1 module. We all know that writing task is all about report writing. It is going to be something more important. So writing task for different types of graphs that we have to write, and when it comes to task 1, it is all about report writing where statistical information is presented. You have to make a report writing of 150 words. Under 20 minutes we come to see different questions and what type of questions are there. So let's see, there are around 8 different types that we have to study. First we can focus on bar graph, line graph, table and pie charts are there. Along with that, there are some maps, process chart, flow chart, and the complicated, complex informations, complex graphs are there. If we see that we have to understand the task and we have to write it in a particular structure, we have to understand each of them. Starting from today, we are going to have bar graph as the first graph, and we are going to understand more better ideas on the same. So here we begin understanding 8 different types, taking first as an important part as different types of bar graphs can be there. When it comes to bar graph, we all know that it is about different charts that represents into different ideas. It can be about time frame, it can be about complex structure of products, it can be about horizontal bars, and the way we understand different types, it becomes more easy and convenient to make answers. So here there are 4 different types of bar graphs. First is dynamic bar graph. So students, when it comes to dynamic bar graphs, it is about time frame. We have to understand that it is about different time based years, months are mentioned in the graph and we have to consider them equally. Along with that, there is second structure where comparison is being done between 2 different countries, between different students, between different age groups, different sectors or different goods are mentioned in the bar graph, and we have to take care of that. We have to understand the question accordingly. When it comes to 2 charts or multiple bar charts, there is a possibility that you have some equal number of products. You have similar quantities, simple products, but they are mentioned together in 2 different years or in 2 different nations, where we have to keep an idea that 2 combined ideas are mentioned of different places. We have to justify them and we have to understand. While writing it, we have to compare the information accordingly. Last and fourth is horizontal bar graph. There has been no change between horizontal bar graph. It is very clear that horizontal bar graph is not anything else, but it is just the dimension that changes for that particular graph. Coming to the important thing, how to write everything. When it comes to simple bar graph, the most students says that I have completed my language, I know how to mention things, I have understood the question, I know how to write frictions and proportions. Students are okay with sentence making, but see, it's an IELTS exam, and to have best band, to get the best band descriptor understanding, we have to understand that it is a complex structure and comparative idea together. So understanding a simple bar graph, we have to understand the question very nicely. We have to paraphrase and get the synonyms ready for every question. Then we have to have writing points. Making notes is a crucial part. Do not start on writing your question. Just by observing the question does not mean you will be start writing through it. Make sure that you make notes, you understand the question, you understand the frame of the graph. By understanding the graph, it becomes convenient and you yourself start understanding, taking part into the question, then go on step by step writing. So note making plays a very important role. Try to make some short notes on your question paper so you will understand that what you are going to write about the graph. So let's get started with the graph that we have here. It's a simple graph. It represents an percentage of households growing in their own products in different 3 countries in 3 different years. We can see here it's London, New York and Tokyo. The years are mentioned with 2010, 15 and 20 in 3 different years, representing the ratio of products that have been cultivated in these 3 nations. So understanding this graph, we have to also check that what are the measurements and units that are representing. So here it is in the percentage format. Always try to understand which formats are used. Are they kilometers, meters, millions, or numbers, or years, or either they are into format of percentage. Today the simple graph is represented and it is about percentage here. Whatever the things that I am going to look forward for the given graph are the measurements, the time formation, the products and the categories that are being explained in the given graph. So I know that it is a household product, so it can be some vegetables, some goods that are being harvested, cultivated or in the format of grown in that 3 nations by the household, by the families. Moving forward, let's understand the features, the key identities of the graph. हमेशा ध्यान रखिए कि ग्राफ को क्वेश्चन मिलते ही सॉल्व करना is not a right idea. जब भी आपके पास ग्राफ आए, once you start scanning the question, you will come to understand the deep depth of that question. Knowing the question is more necessary than writing it directly. So here, let's understand what are the key features of writing a graph. One main observation that I have seen, that in my given graph, all the parameters are having good increase. We can see an increasing length and stable growth in every year, in every country. So there has been an increase over the time, the given period informs. New York has the highest figures overall. London has started with lowest and grows steadily, whereas Tokyo shows a very moderate growth. There has been no drastic change. So we can see that the growth is very moderate in Tokyo. However, there has been a good growth in New York, and in London it is a stable increase, right? So observing the key features, we have to move forward to understand what are the structure pattern. It is not मुझे English आता है तो मैंने 4 पैराग्राफ लिख दिए, मुझे लिखना आता है तो मैंने एक ही पैराग्राफ में मेंशन कर दिया, गलत है. अगर हम एक इंटरनेशनल लेवल की एग्जाम में है तो वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन द स्ट्रक्चर, ऑन अ पर्टिकुलर पैटर्न टू शोकेस आवर आंसर. सो व्हेनेवर इट कम्स टू टास्क 1, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड कि क्या स्ट्रक्चर होगा. A recommended structure from the universities is like, we have to start it from introduction. Paraphrasing plays a very crucial role. उसी सेम बात को अपनी भाषा में कहना बिना उसका मतलब चेंज किए is like paraphrasing. You have to change the statement with good levels, with range of vocabularies, with passive active voices, but make sure you're not going to change the meaning of the given sentence. You should not do a change, or you should not add imaginary language to that sentence. Second is overall idea. Always remember, आपका क्वेश्चन जैसे ही आपने लिखा, आपने पैराफ्रेज किया, तो वहाँ पे कोई एक्स्ट्रा टैलेंट नहीं था. आपने तो इंट्रोडक्शन में दिए हुए सवाल को सिर्फ कन्वर्ट किया है. When you are changing it with overall idea, when you are keeping your over observation, it is clear that you have understood the task. Always make an overview statement very clear, justifying to the length of ideas which are visible, which are easily highlighted. Elements which are lowest and which are least has to be kept into the statements, but always try to keep percentage, numbers and detailing away from overview. Main body paragraph is very important because with connectors you have to start your paragraph. Connectors link the paragraph from 1 to 2. So whenever you use a good connector and you start your paragraph, make sure all the details are nicely kept. Sentences are complex sentences, and then you are writing the detail of your given information. Second paragraph is an optional paragraph. It is not necessary that every graph will be having a second main paragraph. Today, because we are having so much of information, we are going to jump into the second paragraph as well. An introduction of this paragraph is mentioned here, paraphrasing the idea and informing you what has been illustrated in the question. So the bar graph illustrates the percentage of households that grew their own products in 3 different major cities. Same ही line को हम convert कर सकते हैं using synonyms and saying this: the households have cultivated the goods in 3 different years, 2010, 2015 and 2020, as well as it is in 3 different nations like New York, London and Tokyo. We can also represent the same idea by passive voice, saying that in 3 different nations the cultivation has been happened in 3 different years and the products of households are being cultivated by the given graph, which is informed or which is represented, which is supplied. Everything is fine. Make sure that you use a correct range of vocabulary to keep your ideas correct. After paraphrasing, coming to an overall idea. Overview is something, your observation, whatever you are observing, whatever is easily represented is expressed in overview. Keeping the overview as a connector, you can change it to analyzing the graph. It is clearly seen in the given graph can be the good connectors. Even there is a overall, it can be observed is a very common connector used by everyone. You can change it saying that observation of graph. You can say it like as analyzing the given graph. All goes well. In this, we are going to write something that was increased, something that was throughout lowest or throughout highest. So here we can see overall the proportion of households growing their own goods increased all 3 cities over the period of time. New York has recorded the highest figures throughout, while London has experienced the most notable growth. I can also change this last line saying that Tokyo has the very moderate growth, because I have observed the graph. I know that Tokyo was not having any noticeable change. There was no significant change in Tokyo. It was very moderate, it was very minor. So I can add that line into my overview. Paragraph 1, a very important paragraph. See, whenever you are writing paragraph, do not directly jump on writing. Make sure that you had a connector there which indicates that now a reader has to read your main paragraph, saying firstly, to begin with, in the given graph works a very crucial role. So start it with using good connectors, and these connectors would be helpful for the reader to have interaction and to read further. So in London is what my ideas have been. So the figures rose steadily from 5% in 2010 to 12, and then before reaching to 18 by 2015, without any changes with all 3 years. Only for London nation I have explained things for 3 different years. Now coming to next thing, that was New York. So the upward trend in New York was visible, where the proportion has increased from 8% to 10, and it has sharply rise to 22%. The key range of vocabularies that I have written here are steadily, increased by, sharp risely. See, key vocabularies are very necessary. Suppose मैं एक ऐसा sentence लिख रही हूँ जहाँ मैं बताती हूँ कि London has rose to 15%, but वहीं पे अगर मैं लिखती हूँ कि London has sharply increased to, has significant increase in, insignificant growth of, these words where you are adding adverb phrases, definitely your marks are going to change. Adverb phrases plays a very important role. Without adverb, your sentence is a complete sentence. Grammatically it is correct, but it does not has that level where a band descriptor is searching for to give you 8 or maybe more than 8 bands. So make sure if you are using an adverb phrase, sharply, steadily, significantly will be very helpful in your writing. This is a full sample answer which represent the complete graph that we have taken today as an example. देखिए, क्वेश्चन कोई भी हो, make sure if you read it, if you understand, you find the key features. Once you find the key features, you come to know that what is a correct way of writing, and most probably synonyms are only valid when they are used for verbs here, for adverbs. Do not change nouns, do not change percentage. Rather, you can do one thing, you can use frictions as well, but not overall all the frictions can be utilized. Somewhere, sometime, is right. Using complex sentences is the necessity. So I have mentioned 3 paragraphs, having good range of connectors, and all the information is nicely settled. So here we end with this bar graph, and if you have any questions, please make comments. Follow us for more updates. Share this to friends and families who are looking forward for their overseas study. Visit Vihaan Overseas on all social applications. Thank you.